Today we have Tim and Irma Walker with us, and they are some of my clients that are building in Comfort. And why don't y'all tell me about yourself a little bit? Irma?
I retired a little over a year ago from higher education. I was an administrator in a community college. So I retired so that we could move to the area and build our dream home.
Good. Tim?
Hi, my name's Tim Walker, and I'm a semi-retired petroleum engineer, and I'm about to be full-time retired, and we are looking forward to building our dream home in Comfort.
Tim, why don't you tell me, first of all, where y'all building, Irma?
We're building in the Reserve at Falling Water, which is right off 87 going towards Fredericksburg. It's a very small neighborhood. I think there are only 20-something houses and absolutely stunning views.
That's great. And so how big is your house?
The living is 3944. And then Tim, tell them about your workshop and the garage.
So we also have, I like to do woodworking as a hobby. So we're building, as part of the house, it looks like a third-car garage, a 850 square foot workshop that I can do my woodworking in. So we have just a little under 6,300 square feet under roof with framing, and we have an open area in the front under a trellis. That's another couple of hundred square feet.
Okay.
So we moved here from Spring, Texas, and our previous house in Spring, we had was a custom build as well, and we had gone through a general contractor. And we did have a great experience with that general contractor, but we have been through the building process, and that home was designed from scratch, and none of the pre-existing plans we just really didn't like any of the existing plans. So we knew what we wanted. We knew what we didn't want. So we set about the process of learning about how to build your own custom home. And during that process, once again, we went out to a designer that designed custom homes. And it was a several month process that we worked with him trying to come up with ideas of how many bedrooms, what size rooms, how do we want these? It was a lot of pre-job planning just in the design work.
And we did interview several designers and architects, which is really important because some of them may have a wonderful product, but you work so closely for so long with them, you need to really click and hit it off. So we interviewed several, both back in Spring, where we were at the time, and then also in Hill Country, and it ended up being a good process.
I will say, though, that there is no perfect design. You will have issues. A designer is not a builder. What can go on paper oftentimes cannot be done in the field.
Very true.
Well, one of the reasons was that the caliber of house that we wanted to build, we couldn't afford to go through a general contractor to build that house. And we figure we're saving anywhere from 15 to 20% by building it ourselves. And since we are retired, that process is much easier to follow through with versus if you were working a full-time job or possibly were even living in a significantly different place, distance-wise, than we are here, whereas we are able to go to the house every single day.
Okay. So I really think I interviewed personally, face-to-face, about 12 of them. And the bids were anywhere from low 50s to over $117,000. Wow. That is incredible. So I did not even check references on the 117,000 plus one or the ones that were over 80, but I did check the references on some of the lower bids, as I checked references on everything. And this one time, we did go with the lowest bid. We don't always, because sometimes we just don't think the quality will be there after I do the reference checks. But I could not believe that they were that crazy far apart. I know, it was crazy.
Starting back in April, I've been working in Houston during the week and coming home every weekend. And we laid the groundwork, both of us laid the groundwork initially, such that she could be the superintendent on the job. And she has been out there every single day, and especially in this hot sun in the summer. And she has done a fantastic job. And it just goes to show that you don't have to have a construction background to be able to build a house this way.
That's true. I mean, I was a college administrator. I knew nothing about this, but together we just prepared myself for doing this. And because we made all of those choices early on, it really has not been that stressful. It just really hasn't, because I could be out there every day and focusing on the construction rather than worrying about, well, I haven't chosen lighting. I haven't chosen this. I haven't chosen that. We had already chosen those things. Tim set up spreadsheets so that we know exactly what is going into every single room. Outdoor lighting, we've already bought ceiling fans. All of those things were done prior to the pour. Actually prior to closing, so that we knew what our budget was going to be. So that once we did the final budget, there were no surprises.
And to add a little bit to the spreadsheet, it's probably 30 worksheets long. Each and every room, we visualized walking around that room and looking at everything that was going to go in that room, all the way down to the little nubbings that your door opens against. And even though they were maybe $1.50 or $2 each, that goes in the budget, because you can't skimp and say, well, we've probably got 30 doors. So that's $60. That's not a huge number, but $60 here, $60 there, $100 there starts adding up, and all of a sudden you're over $1,000 or more on things that you just blew off, and now you're going to be over budget.
We looked at cabinets in so many different ways. We went to model homes. We looked online. We looked at magazines. I mean, cabinets are an extremely important thing. Once we got here, we interviewed all sorts of people. There are online companies that do cabinets. There are local people that do cabinets. There are people who will build the cabinets off-site and then paint on-site. We didn't want that. We interviewed a lot of them face-to-face, and we ended up choosing Kingwood Cabinets, and we are immensely pleased with their product. Very, very proud of their product. And it has been a really good process working with them.
They have a very excellent quality cabinet.
They do. And you may want to go into that a little bit more
They really
detail.
do. And I'll just touch on a little bit of their construction techniques. They use 3/4-inch plywood everywhere. And for the tops of their cabinets, or for the tops of most cabinets, cabinet makers will either put corner braces or strips of braces across the top. But basically, if you're looking down into the cabinet, you're looking down into the drawer of the cabinet from the top. What Kingwood does is Kingwood comes in and actually puts another full piece of 3/4-inch plywood, so that you will have no chance of the cabinets racking. They're just really stout, very well constructed.
So the biggest thing that I think we can take from the outcome of this entire thing is, through this preparation, you really wanted to build a solid, sound structural home that you feel like you've really gotten through this, and energy efficient.